154, how much stronger are you feeling? How much better are you feeling at 54?
I feel great. I feel strong. I feel motivated. You know, I'm just ready to go out here and do my. I'm not overlooking anybody right now or even worried about any.
Canelo Alvarez got a scary message from Terence Crawford, which has caused a lot of buzz in the boxing world. Crawford has built his career by going the outside the box route and believing in himself even when other people don't. He went overseas to win his first title against what he considers to be his toughest opponent to date, dominated the 140-pound division, and easily beat the skilled welterweight division.
I don't know. You know, we know he's capable of a lot of things, but, you know, we're not going to overlook anything, and that's why we prepare the way we prepare and focus on him the way we focus on him.
The bigger guys training for this, how's that felt?
You said a
sparring, yeah, sparring the bigger guys.
Oh, I always spar.
Brings to mind that important moment in Crawford's Nebraska gym exactly 1 year ago this week. Crawford was working hard for his chance to dethrone, in what would be a historic fight, the three-belt winner who has never lost, Errol Spence. Brian Bo McIntyre, Crawford's trainer, remembers that he was drenched in sweat when he made a clear and correct prediction. "I'm going to him up, bro," to observe the unfolding of events with the highly talented Crawford. After a mere moment's assessment of Spence, unleashed a torrent of refined tactics and powerful strikes. This onslaught floored the determined Texan thrice, culminating in Crawford's decisive win by 9th-round technical knockout. Spence hasn't fought yet. Crawford recently talked about the all-the-smoke fight with two-division Hall of Fame champion Andre Ward. Ward said that a man of his word is something to admire. Terence Crawford is that the unwavering three-division champion who has swiftly captured the respect of Saudi Arabia's powerful sports magnate. Turki has recognized his abilities. Crawford has been led on this stellar lineup set to electrify __ Stadium in Los Angeles this Saturday night. Crawford has been made an ambassador for the Riyadh season of Al-Salalshik in a dynamic exchange of respect. Crawford commends Alalshik's strategic prowess in dismantling promotional and broadcasting barriers to create premier boxing matches. Alalshik's ability to orchestrate undisputed showdowns has already been proven and promises to continue providing thrilling encounters. "The money is going to be right. You're going to fight him," Crawford said to Ward in speaking about the potential code that Alalshik is working toward bringing the sport under one umbrella. He added, "They've got money to blow. The money is nothing to them. They're doing this for y'all, the people who want to see these two high-class fighters fight." In his debut bout as a junior middleweight, Crawford isn't wasting any time. He set his sights on the World Boxing Association's fresh title holder, Israil Madrimov from Uzbekistan, ready to make an immediate effect. McIntyre told Boxing Scene at Tuesday's grand arrivals on the Santa Monica Pier, "Crawford is a tough guy, and he wants that 154 title. He wants to continually push himself to the next level. And Madrimov is one of the guys that's in the way. Crawford doesn't need to prove anything to me. I already know what Bud can do. To watch him prove something to the world. Watch him." A win would elevate Crawford to the ranks of a four-division winner, placing him among the elite few. This success would align him with Mexico's Saul Canelo Alvarez, another active fighter who has long vied with Crawford for the title of pound for pound. Supremacy. Alalshik is orchestrating a potential showdown between Crawford and Alvarez contingent on key wins. Crawford must triumph over Madrimov, and Alvarez needs to protect his unified super middleweight titles against the formidable underdog Edgar Berlanga on September 14th. Although Crawford clearly enjoys the financial boost from his partnership with Al-Salalshik, those closest to him know that it's not just about the money. The fighter's drive is equally fueled by the legacy he aims to leave behind, making this match a pivotal moment in his career.
Terence Crawford, his name keeps coming up, and I know he's a lot smaller than you. Is that a fight that you would ever consider under any circumstance?
You know, I always say if the fight make sense, why not? But he's not in the plan.
He's not in the plan. Okay. Is there a specific reason for it? Is it because of his size, or it won't do anything for you in terms of pushing you toward your goals?
You know, like I say, if it makes sense, maybe. I don't know right now. I just gonna enjoy this fight, and please let me enjoy this fight, and then you gonna know what is next.
McIntyre explained to Boxing Scene that Crawford's desire to face Alvarez stems more from his inner determination than from the financial rewards. Crawford, who has taken a year off following the Spence victory, is well rested, according to his trainer, and he is ready to speak up once more, similar to the time he revealed Spence's coming demise. Boxing's 2023 Trainer of the Year, McIntyre, thinks his fighter can understand the Canelo battle. He can do it, McIntyre said. Few people know fighting like Crawford does. Trust him when he says he sees something. A promoter with past experience working with Crawford is aware of this. You need to remember, Canelo was a champion first at 154, and he's never really gotten all that much bigger. I still see him as a 154-pounder who's added on the weight. The promoter said if Crawford demonstrates that he can handle the additional pounds with skill and decisively beat Madrimov on Saturday, he's ready to challenge himself further by adding another 14 pounds to determine who truly reigns as the greatest fighter of their era. McIntyre said that's how he is. He has to note he wants to press to that next level always. Hall of Fame broadcaster Jim Lampley has been envisioning Crawford Alvarez since last year. He said, "It's a fight that can happen because Terence is an innately competitive human being, always looking for ways to test himself while looking for ways to feel belittled if people don't give him his proper credit." Lampley added, "I'm sure he took notice of those who pick Spence. He has an extremely competitive arrogance in that he's bothered and offended by thoughts that anyone can beat him." Former HBO commentator Jim Lampley LS Terence Crawford as the quintessential fighter of the HBO era during this time. Lampley observed Crawford's promoter, Top Rank, catapulting other fighters to the prominence that Crawford himself rightly deserved. Lampley watched the warrior use that slight and others to gather all the motivation he needs. He wants to prove the people who underestimated him wrong. Lampley said, while he never earned the title of US Olympian, Crawford and his team accepted the grueling grind of training in the heart of America. Through relentless effort, they forged him into a double-fisted powerhouse known for his unyielding resolve and one of the most formidable winning streaks of his era. Lampley said, "I haven't spoken to him about this. This is an educated guess, but I feel he's learned this is a business. He's in there to fight, to hurt the other guy, and get out. If Crawford pulls off that same feat on Saturday, he'll be staring straight into the eyes of the redhead who's been his rival for pound-for-pound dominance for nearly a decade." McIntyre said, "If the opportunity presents itself, he's going to fight Alvarez. I know Terence, he likes those challenges." Is Crawford going to defeat Canelo? The trainer stated that both he and Crawford will put effort into the fight if it comes on the table and it's there. It's a possibility, McIntyre said. However, Lampley said, at the end of the day, it's up to Canelo to me. Terence Crawford is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. But Canelo is the #1 for duel fighter, which is most important when you're trying to exercise what you want. It's best to be the #1 for duel fighter. But Terence Crawford has boldly stated that if he emerges victorious against WBA light middleweight world champion Israel Madrimov, his next move would be to ascend to weight classes and take on Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. Would Madrimov be prepared to do the same to face Alvarez if he were to pull off the upset over Crawford? Absolutely, in a word Madrimov told Seconds Out through an interpreter. "We don't want to overlook anyone, so we're fully concentrated on this one. But I wouldn't mind Canelo Madrimov." He also added to Fight Hub TV, "Right now my focus is Crawford fight, but after that we will see if they're going to offer for me to fight Canelo. I'm willing to do that because after this fight, the biggest fights are of my interest if I win." Furthermore, Madrimov is somewhat acquainted with Alvarez, having assisted Dmitry Bivol in his preparation to decisively defeat the boxing icon in May 2020 via unanimous decision. Madrimov said, "If the fight happens, then we'll start working on him in detail and start figuring that out with His Excellency." Turki has announced plans to extend a proposal to Canelo Alvarez aiming to arrange a bout against Terence Crawford, who is determined to provide Crawford with a significant fight, and as sure as Canelo will be offered a fair price for the match, the mention of a fair price seems less than encouraging. Canelo knows that Tyson Fury, who has seen better days, pocketed over $100 million for his bout with Alexander Usyk last May in Saudi Arabia. With a rematch slated for December 21st, Fury is anticipated to earn an even heftier sum. Fury appeared out of shape and underwhelming after his defeat to Usyk last May, and he certainly didn't earn the hefty paycheck he received. If Fury can rake in such an enormous sum while looking as lackluster as he did, Canelo should be commanding twice that amount, somewhere around $200 million. Canelo has little interest in this bout, and it's easy to understand why, facing a 37-year-old welterweight who is stepping up to weight classes after just one fight at 154 doesn't exactly enhance Canelo's legacy. Turki said to ESPN, "I will give Canelo what I think is a fair price. If he accepts it, he deals directly with me to finish the deal. I don't want anyone in the middle. I guaranteed Crawford a big fight. I want Canelo for Crawford, and Crawford wants Canelo, but if Canelo is crazy with his financial demands, I will still guarantee Crawford any fight he wants." Crawford is in this bout for more than just the thrill of the fight. He's eyeing a substantial payday to pad his retirement and hoping for a stroke of luck with an upset victory. Regardless of the outcome, Crawford stands to gain greatly, while Canelo's reward is limited to the financial gain. If Turki is prepared to offer Canelo over $100 million, similar to the amount Fury set to receive for his bout with Usyk, it might catch his attention. However, Canelo could possibly demand $200 million, a figure that could be out of reach for Canelo. Crawford's bout might not catch the attention of casual boxing fans, as Crawford remains a relatively unknown name to many. Unlike his peers, he hasn't engaged in self-promotion throughout his career, having a low profile and flying under the radar. In his 16-year career, Crawford has only found success in one pay-per-view fight, and that was against Errol Spence. The success of that bout can be greatly attributed to Spence's considerable popularity. Crawford basically rode the coat to tails of Spence's fame, contributing little to the promotion of the event. Turki anticipates Crawford emerging triumphant in his upcoming bout with WBA junior middleweight title holder Israel Madrimov on Saturday, August 3rd. Additionally, he expects WBA, WBC, and WBO super middleweight champion Canelo to defend his title effectively against Edgar Berlanga on September 14th, given their advanced age and the fact they're up against strong punchers. Crawford and Canelo may lose their future matches.
I can't go down anymore. But you know, like he say, you know, when they ask him for the Germonta fight, they don't wanna get credit for that fight. It's the same for me. I don't need to take that fight because everybody's gonna say it's too small, it's too small, it's too small, and then, you know, he needs to enjoy his fight. Okay, he deserves it. He deserves it. I like Spence, but you know, I like Spence and all the respect for him and everything. But I knew. I think is the type of fight Terence Crawford is different. 168, but like I say, like he say, nobody's gonna give me.
Turki has yet to clarify whether he means to move forward with his plan to stage a Canelo-Crawford bout. Even if either fighter suffers a defeat, a loss on either side could impact the appeal of the matchup significantly as it stands. Berlanga vs. Madrimov showdown, slated for early 2025, might be the likely alternative, though it's unlikely to create much excitement. Alal Alalshik stays vague about the big fight he's promising Crawford if the dream match against Canelo doesn't materialize. Crawford lacks the ambition to step up to 175 pounds and face the formidable contenders in that class, where the real excitement lies for fans eager to see him in action. Crawford rejects the idea of fighting Yaron Boots, Ennis claiming the bout offers no financial or legacy benefits, since no one in the 154 pounds division boasts more prominence than Ennis. Crawford would look diminished if he opts for a fight against one of them. If Turki is unable to secure a fight with Canelo, Crawford's options for a major bout are dwindling. He might have to opt for a more cautious choice, like facing Sebastian Fendorat, who avoids the perilous task of moving up to 175 pounds and contending. With Artur Beterbiev, David Benavidez, or Dimitri Bivol, Crawford turned his attention to the super middleweight title holder after defeating Errol Spence Jr. to win the welterweight title last year. In response, Canelo entirely disregarded confronting the inherently smaller man. In his conversation with Boxxer, he said, "No, I will never fight Crawford. People criticized me fighting Carrot because he was coming up in weight, so now imagine Crawford going from welterweight to 168 pound. I have everything to lose and nothing to gain, because if I win they'll say, oh, he was too small and everything." The Mexican, though, stated in a more recent interview with Supreme Boxing that he is now open to fighting Bud for the correct amount of money. He said it depends on the money, but why not? In the end, he's a great fighter. Crawford is obviously 3 divisions lower, but as I have said to you, I have fought with people bigger than me, the same categories as me, shorter than me, older than me, and younger than me. In the end, I was born to fight. I am here to fight with whoever, clearly with the terms that most suit me. If money is the key to making this fight a reality, fans might be in luck. As mentioned before, Turki Alalshik, the driving force behind boxing in Saudi Arabia, has told ESPN that he plans to secure the bout and will soon present Canelo with a fair price at this stage of his career. Terence Crawford has achieved so much that transparency is almost expected. During a recent conversation about his upcoming fight with Israel Madrimov, his friendship with Shocker Stevenson, and the chance of a rematch with Errol Spence Jr., Crawford was refreshingly candid. The momentum carried on into Monday when he joined Ariel Helwani on the MMA show to revisit some of the same themes. A big point of discussion surrounding Crawford is who his next opponent will be after the August 3rd bout with Madrimov. There are calls for him to challenge IBF champion Terence Boots Ennis, if he beats Madrimov, a notion that the general public may have assumed far too hastily. The native of Philadelphia defeated David Avanesian via TK earlier this month, and for the previous 6 months he and his promoter, Eddie Hearn, have been criticizing Crawford. Crawford has always been known as a champion who meets all challengers head-on. However, at 36 years old, he's now prioritizing a showdown with fellow future Hall of Famer Canelo Alvarez over a fight with the rising star Ennis. Crawford claimed that a bout between him and Canelo would happen at 168 pounds. Crawford said that at this current point he is focused on the fight that makes the most sense to him. And that fight is not against Boots. He mentioned that a fight with Canelo would greatly enhance his legacy and his bank account. Crawford stressed that when his boxing career is over, he wants to have a legacy that people will talk about for ages and a bank account that will last for a long time.
I'm looking at the fight that makes the most sense, and that's not Boots. Canelo is going to bring way more to my legacy, way more to my bank account, because at the end of the day, when boxing is done with, what will we have? I want to have a legacy that's something that people talk about for the ages. And not only that, I want to have a bank account that will last for ages as well. So
I don't blame you.
It is difficult to not respect and comprehend such a response. Crawford has achieved everything in boxing to be unquestionably inducted into the Hall of Fame since he remains capable of competing at a world-class level and challenging champions. He wisely ensures that all risks are carefully considered. Should Crawford show strength against Madrimov, he would likely be the favorite to defeat Ennis. However, this is also the kind of fight where a legendary champion could age overnight. Such a shift often happens when someone like Crawford faces off against an undefeated rising star like Ennis. Crawford stands to earn a solid payday from defeating Ennis, but it's nothing compared to the potential earnings from a fight with Canelo. One could say that Crawford and Canelo are the two most prominent fighters of the post-Floyd-Mayweather era. Crawford has one of the best runs in the history of the sport thanks to his 40-0 record. 31 KOs and titles in 3 different weight divisions. Apart from mishaps involving Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol, Canelo remains unsolved. Although both Crawford and Canelo are getting older, they are still regarded as elite fighters, making this potential matchup one of the most significant traditional boxing events. When asked why he thinks Madrimov can defeat a generational great like Crawford, Eddie Hearn explained that it comes down to timing. He stated that his job is to support Israel Madrimov, acknowledging that Madrimov is a significant underdog. Hearn pointed out that Madrimov possesses many of the qualities needed to compete, including technical skills, boxing, IQ, strength, and durability. He noted that Madrimov is neither a non-P puncher nor a weak 154-pounder and can technically match or come close to matching Crawford. However, he conceded that Crawford is a generational great. Hearn said that's why he is heavily favored in this fight. I think ideally, he would have probably wanted 2 or 3 more fights from Madrimov, but when you get a chance like this you have to take it. When asked if Canelo would take the fight with Crawford after facing Edgar Berlanga on September 14, Hearn responded that he believes Canelo would accept any fight if the financial terms are right. He noted that Canelo has no fear of Terence Crawford and is more concerned with the accolades he would receive from a victory. Hearn pointed out that if Canelo wins, it would be seen as defeating a 154-pounder and a 147-pounder who recently moved up in weight, while a loss would be viewed as getting beaten by a 154-pounder. He added that Canelo tends to pick opponents based on their styles, preferring those who come forward and engage in a fight. Hearn remarked, "I don't think Canelo likes facing fighters who move. His body is probably not quite what it was when Jermall Charlo went off the back foot. Canelo didn't like it or enjoy it. He wants someone that comes to fight. He'll fight anyone. He also, in his head, has a number that he thinks fights are worth. It's just whether that's realistic." Amid the buzz about a potential Canelo vs. Crawford showdown, a recent resurfacing of a prediction from former WBA super lightweight champ Rolando Romero offers intriguing insight into the anticipated clash. The potential showdown between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is shaping up to be one of the defining bouts of our time. In a bold move, Crawford, aiming to cement his legacy as an undisputed champion in 3 weight classes, is eager to secure a major victory over Alvarez, potentially earning a substantial purse before hanging up his gloves. However, the question remains, can Crawford outshine a formidable opponent like Alvarez at 168 pounds? Since November 2021, the Mexican boxer has dominated the super middleweight division. Crawford, who has spent most of his career in the welterweight class, faces a formidable challenge in overcoming the significantly larger Canelo Alvarez. This sentiment echoes a remark made by Romero some time ago. Romero predicted confidently if Terence Crawford moves up to fight Canelo, then it's going to be a worse fight than Jermall Charlo running around against Canelo. I'm going to tell you straight up. Canelo by murder against Crawford. They have weight classes for a reason. Jermall Charlo, the ex-light middleweight champion, made a bold move last year by jumping to weight classes to challenge the rising Mexican star despite Charlo's undefeated record at the time Alvarez emerged. Victorious, with relative ease, this result underscored the daunting challenge faced by fighters moving up in weight. Following this, Romero proposed that Crawford might fare better competing at 154 pounds rather than at 168. Yet it's possible to overlook the prowess of a fighter like Bud. Throughout his career, he has consistently delivered outstanding performances with an impressive streak of 11 consecutive knockout victories. Bud's reputation is formidable. Many within the boxing community are confident that he could triumph over the Mexican boxer despite the differences in their weight classes. Despite Rally Romero's dire forecast, many boxing enthusiasts are convinced that Terence Crawford is the sole fighter capable of inflicting Canelo Alvarez's third defeat. Crawford's move to light middleweight is seen as a strategic maneuver to bridge the gap between him and Canelo, while some presume that Bud has less chance of winning two divisions. Undisputed champion Claressa Shields believes that the only man that can beat Canelo is Terence Crawford. That's just what I think, and I want to see it, even though Alvarez is a skilled boxer and the WBC lightweight champion. Shocker Stevenson thinks Crawford might defeat him. Furthermore, boxing pundit and coach Teddy Atlas picked Bud over Canelo and said, "It's a tremendous challenge because Canelo is a tremendous fighter and bigger and stronger, and he can punch and time you, but just because you're smaller, Crawford will come up with a game plan that will make the other guy use his size." However, Canelo's lofty demands have thus far thwarted any agreement. Crawford told Matchroom that for whatever reason the fight with Canelo did not materialize, so he had to move forward with his career. He explained that his ultimate goal was to secure the fight with Canelo, but since that didn't happen, he moved on to the next best option. He added, 154 was wide open. I was looking to fight Charlo. He left, so I've got to fight with whoever I could get for a world title. Israel Madrimov is a tremendous fighter. He's 10-0, already a world winner. He's a tough, dangerous fighter. I think it's going to be an exciting fight. Talking about Madrimov, Crawford said that he sees him as very strong and describes him as herky-jerky. Crawford noticed that Madrimov is elusive, capable of both boxing and brawling, and has the ability to take a punch, which makes for a great fight. He expressed faith that Madrimov will train hard and that his coaches will prepare him to be at his best. He further added, "As for myself, I've been here before. This is nothing new. I know how to handle things like this. I know how to go about beating these types of guys that have a lot to prove. Come fight night, I will show the world once and for all once again why I'm the best fighter on the planet." Crawford lavished praise on Sheikh Turki Alalshik, the key figure responsible for securing his bout with Canelo. Alalshik is a prominent player in the Riyadh season, which is making its inaugural appearance in the US this year. He said, "I'm very excited to be headlining His Excellency Turki Alalshik's first car in the US. I'm very excited for the first big event. Coming to America, being the star of the event, is a big honor. It's going to be a great event. There's a stacked undercard, and I'm just happy to be a part of it." Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you like this one.